अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Salutations to that revered Guru who opened the eyes of one blinded by the darkness of ignorance by applying the collyrium of knowledge. Now, I request our Honorable President of the Sabha, Dr. V. Shankar, to please come forward and address us with his words of wisdom and experience.
माला सुदाम कुंभ विबोध मुद्रा विद्याविराजत करवारी जाता अपार कारुण्य सुदाम्बुराशिम श्री शारदांबा प्रणतोस्मि नित्यम. Seeking the benediction of Jagannmata Sharada Parameshwari, Vagdevi Saraswati, that repository of all that is culture, knowledge, tradition, wisdom, art, learning and fine art, I bow to her as I commence my address today. Akanta Mandalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this pleasant and solemn function organized this evening to commemorate in advance the commencement of the centenary celebrations of one of the greatest musicians of our living memories, a musician of musicians, a musician non-peril, a sitarist of great accomplishment, a musicologist of repute, Pandit Arvind Parikh, and to offer our salutations and prostrations to the Gurus of the several awardees of the Sabha over the years as part of the Guru Vandana program that is being organized today. As it was said at the beginning, it has been the desire of Pandit Arvind Parikh that the Sabha is next only to the government in relation to the awards, the accomplishments, the honors, the titles that it gives. Countless number of awards, plethora of them, along the musical journey of an artist. But seldom has the Sabha looked beyond the artist to find out who was responsible to make them come to the stage worthy of receiving the award from this institution. It was that genesis of thought in Pandit Arvind Parikh that has got fruition today, along with the endorsement of the Sabha, and the culmination of that is the Guru Vandana Samaroh that is being organized this evening. From the haunting melody of a vocal recital, to the sweet strains of veena, to the graceful movements of a Bharatanatyam dancer, to the joyful gathering of the students and parents of the neighboring schools for their annual day, to the Maha-adhivations of nationally acclaimed political parties, business meetings of large business conglomerates, the best and the choicest of international opera, firing from all cylinders from this very Vyasapita, and in recent times, reliving the glory and the greatness of Bollywood through orchestras that have become a dominant part of the activities over here, and of course, the stand-up comedies, the good, bad, and the ugly. The Shanmukhananda has been a mute and a silent witness to all. Today it is more than a living edifice. It's part of a living history, a monument of a cultural synthesis, one singular object that in its multifaceted dimension and secular nature epitomizes the city it stands tall and proud in, and in a larger sense, the nation itself. Shanmukhananda is a living tradition. This blessed land of ours has a living history that spans several millennia. The rest of the world has always wondered as to how is it that this nation of ours, despite the vastness of the land, the diversity of its culture, and the multitude of the languages that are being spoken, has remained united, and despite the fact that several fissurous tendencies and divisive elements have rocked the moral fabric of this society at several points of time in its long civilizational journey, when more powerful nations in the latter half of the 20th century have balkanized and fragmented into smaller nations, ever at war with each other, disturbing the peace equilibrium of the globe itself. This ancient land of ours has 18 major languages, about 1,600 minor languages and dialects, 6,400 castes and subcastes, 52 major tribes, 6 major faiths, 29 states, and 7 union territories, all rolled and fused into one, called as Bharat, Hindustan, or India. Mark Twain calls it as the cradle of human civilization, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of tradition, and the great-grandmother of legend. If singularly there is one factor which has contributed to the unification of this land, it is the culture of this land of ours. Countless number of saints, savants, poets, men and women of letters have been born in this part of the globe. They have traversed the length and breadth of this country, carrying the effervescence, the flora, the fauna, and of course the fragrance of this culture to the deep hinterlands of this country for the masses of this nation to assimilate and absorb. It is this culture that has remained the glue that has bound the nation together. Jantunam Narajanmam Durlabham, says Adi Shankara in Viveka Chudamani. To be born as a human being is the rarest of all things on the earth. And then the scriptures say the fourfold objects of birth are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, righteousness, is the foremost. Artha is begetting wealth. Kama is lust or greed that comes along with procreation of children and creation of families. And the last is emancipation. Moksha is emancipation, the liberation of the soul from this body. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that cycle will be aborted. That is the salvation that will come. Of all these things, this salvation, this emancipation, liberation cannot come without the services of a guru. Who then is a guru? The guru and the Guru Sishya Parampara occupy a special and unique place in the Eastern ideology. Nowhere beyond the Eastern ideology, Eastern continent, part of this world, the concept of Guru or Guru Sishya Parampara exists. Guru occupies a pride of place, a very high pedestal in the Hindu pantheon. That is why the Upanishad says, Mata Pita Guru Chadivam. Primacy is given after the parents to the Guru, even ahead of the Lord. The Upanishads further say, what type of Guru do I worship? Worship Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That Guru is verily the creator, the protector, and the destroyer of the evil, who combines in himself all the responsibilities of the Lord himself. It is that Guru whom I worship, not a teacher. Acharyavan Purusho Vedaha, says the Upanishad. Know that he alone is a person who has got a preceptor. So if you do not have a Margadarshi, then you know you neither have a Marga nor a Darshi. Arunagirinadar, one of the old saints, who wrote the Tiruppugal 650 years ago, in that beautiful composition he said, Guruvai Varuvai Arulvai Guhane. O Lord Kartikeya, do not come to me as the Lord Shanmukha, come to me in the form of a Guru and bless me. That is why in Swami Malai, he is worshipped as a Guru, one who gave the Pranava Mantram even to his father, Lord Shiva. Sant Kabir in one of his dohas says, compares the Guru to a potter. Guru Kumbhar seek kumbh, gadgad kaate कोट, अंदर से आत लगाए, बाहर से लागे छूट. And the same thought Shankara said in Prashnottara Trimalika, saying that a Guru is one who is constantly engaged in the welfare of his Shishyas. Just like a potter who puts his hand in the clay formation from inside and pounds with the other hand, much to the pain and the discomfiture that he has, but he gives the akara and rupa to the pot, so too is a Guru who shapes the Shishya. Kabira goes further in another doha, says, Guru Gobind dohu kade kaake lagu paaye, balihari Guru aapke Govind lago upaye. If both the Guru and the God were to appear before you at the same time, whom would you prostrate or worship first? Of course the Guru. It is only through him that you can reach divinity and attain divine consciousness. This is the greatness of the Guru that we are celebrating today. I have always wondered, why is it that even the Lord required the services of Guru? Adi Shankara embraced monkhood at a tender age of 8. Then he goes on a Uttara Parikrama in search of a Guru. He comes to the banks of Narmada and in Omkareshwar. In a guha he sees a Guru, Govinda Bhagavad-pada. He desires to take Ashraya under him. And as he prostrates before him, the Guru asks him, Koftum, who you are. And that was the time Shankara revealed who he was. Na bhumirna toyam na tejo na vayuhu, na kam na indriyam samna tesham tamuha, Shivav kevaloham. I am Shiva myself. Even then, he has gone in search of a Guru to learn the basic essence of life. In later years, Shankara conclusively proved that all that he has gifted to the world, all the Bhashyas, the Sutras, the Granthas, those compositions on Lords, and the Advaita Vedanta, or the Shanmatam, all that he has given would not have been possible but for the grace of Guru Govinda Bhagavad-pada. He wrote the hymn Bhajagovindam, which is a hymn in praise of Murari. But there is a school of thought which says Shankara had in his mind Bhajagovinda Bhagavad-pada. So it did not stop with Govinda, it had Bhagavad-pada behind it, so that his master was also remembered when he gave that hymn to the world. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum, the Guru of Guru, universal Guru. Yet he and Balarama, his brother, had to go to the Sandeepani ashram to come under the ashraya of Guru Sandeepani to learn the 3 R's of life. Maryada Purushottam Ram, who is today revered in this country, thanks to Ram Lalla at Ayodhya now, he and his brothers had to come to Guru Vasishtha to learn the essence of life. So even the Guru is required for even the gods when they take the avatars. Such an exalted position can never come to any other human being. So what type of devotion that we should have for the Gurus? The scriptures again answer it by saying, Yathadevo parar bhaktir yada devo tata guruhu tasmat katita hartaye prakashante mahatmanaha. When does a person shine like a Mahatma? Only when his devotion to the Guru is no less than the devotion to God. So the scale of devotion to Guru is that of God himself. It is that Guru whom we are celebrating today. Padma Bhushan, Sangeetha Kala Vibhushan, Pandit Arvind Parikh would, in the ordinary course of this year, on the 19th of October, as she correctly said, would commence the century of bliss, the celestial journey through this life. That comes pretty close to the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of the Sabha. Therefore, we did not want to dilute both the essence and the importance of this function along with that of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. And therefore, it was decided that we shall celebrate in advance. The most appropriate date should have been the Guru Purnima day, the Vyasa Puja day, when the solar constellation moves from Uttarayanam to the Dakshinayana Punyakalam. But then to get Gurus on Guru Purnima day is extremely difficult. So therefore, we thought it fit that we should celebrate it today, this evening. We are thankful to the gods for having given us this blessed evening. Despite the inclement weather, we have so many of you who are present over today. The Isopanishad says, Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kanchane jagatyam jagat. Whatever happens, wherever happens, is permeated by the same divine force. It is that blessed divine force which has facilitated the convergence of all positive forces to descend onto this assembly this evening to give us cherished memories, the like of which shall linger in our minds for long, long times to come. Pandit Arvind Parikh was not an ordinary Shishya. In a world of technology, where transformation is thought through technology, people believe that if they can listen to 3 or 4 songs of the Kritis in YouTube, then they become an artist in their own right. And only when they come to know the intricacy, the subtleties, then they realize the absence of a guru. Sangati by Sangati, if it is not being recited, so that rote memory comes to you. And then Vakshuddham will come, then Patantharam will come. And that is the making of music. It doesn't come from only listening. Of course, Karnetu Ishati iti Karnatakam. Carnatic music is referred to as one which is pleasing to the ears. But the making of Carnatic music is not an easy task of just taking technology. For more than 5 decades, he came under the talim of his guru, Padma Vibhushan, Ustad Vilayat Ali Khan. It is not 1 or 2 years that you try to learn something of sitar and say, I have become a sitarist by myself. Countless number of students have passed out of his hands. A musicologist of repute, he has not only ensured the transfer of this parampara to the next generations, he had also created several institutions, forums like the Music Forum and several others, through which he has carried the fragrance of Indian classical music beyond the borders of this country. He is verily one of the foremost global ambassadors of Indian music. In a family where the current goes through his commerce, to have a passion for art and music, only Arvind Parikh could do that. At the age of 19, he got initiated into sitar. And over the last 8 decades, both the sitar and Pandit Arvind Parikh are synonymous. I don't think there is any comparison to separate them out. If sitar has become one of the foremost instruments in the Hindustani classical music and elevated to a prime position, a great share of the credit will go to Pandit Arvind Parikh. Even at this ripe age, when it would have been more appropriate for us to go to his house, prostrate and felicitate him, he has taken the trouble, and that too on a day like this, to come all the way to be with us. And that was not for himself, he said. It's more for the people who are seated behind. And because he felt whatever he had desired is being fulfilled today, more than is being brought on the stage. And the delight he has to see that the gurus are also being worshipped. All these gurus are also not very young people. The travails of travel are equally so for most of them. They have come from different parts of the country. Singularly, the only factor that has pulled them like a magnet to this Vyasapita this evening is to uphold the dharma of a guru. That parampara can never be diminished. And if there is one singular institution in the country which is celebrating that parampara, we should be present there. We are beholden to each one of them for their gracious presence here this evening. In honoring them, we are honoring ourselves. The Ashirvachana mantram of our Upanishads is Jivet Sharta Shatam. May you live 100 years. At a time when modern medicines have reached the masses, life expectancy has gone up, mortality rates have come down. A mere 100 years can never be a blessing. The Atharva Veda saw through this several millennia before, that a day will come, 100 years may not be adequate. The longevity was recorded in the scriptures, and this evening I will offer the hymn from Atharva Veda to all of them. Pushyet Sharta Shatam, Pashyet Sharta Shatam, Roget Sharta Shatam, Jivet Sharta Shatam, Bhuyet Sharta Shatam, Bhayet Sharta Shatam, Bhuyamsi Sharta Shatam. May you all live 100 years, healthy, free from diseases, of a clear vision, not only of the eye, but also of the mind, and freedom from fear, favor, and want. This is the Hindu tradition, documented several millennia ago, which we offer to each one of them today. May you live a long life, a life of purpose, a life in this celestial journey of carrying the Indian classical music. As I come to the end of my address this evening, may the Jagannatha Kamakoti Kamakshi shed her grace on Pandit Arvind Parikh, on all the Gurus who have assembled here today. May she endow them with such a wonderful life, a long life, a life of purpose, a life which will achieve the objects of birth. Swaswarupanubodha is the object of birth, said Shankara, to realize oneself. And I am sure during this life journey, they shall realize what they are. And Janma Safalyam, the success of this life, may it come to each one of them. May the good God bless us too, so that we can draw a leaf from the life of nobility of all these Gurus who have assembled here today, who have added to the lust and shine of this evening function, incorporate into our lives through passage of time, in the eternal quest in our pilgrimage of perfection, a little of the selflessness, sacrifice, and seva that is the hallmark of the life of the Gurus, and then make our life sublime. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, sir.